Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday was in Rajasthan and he made a strong, bombastic speech, sending out a stern message to Pakistan, especially after the Operation Sindoor. But what he said caught everybody's attention. What did he say in his speech? He said that hot vermilion or the hot sindoor flows in his veins. Now, this particular statement saying that hamari nason mein garam sindoor beh raha hai, this particular statement and the muscular tone in which he spoke set the social media abuzz. It put the entire social media on fire, literally. From his personal life to marketing the valor of the Indian Armed Forces, to using Sindoor for political ends, especially the Bihar elections, Prime Minister Modi really came under the scanner for this particular statement. And not only this, he became a butt of joke as well. People mocked him, laughed at him for this kind of a statement, that should the Prime Minister be speaking in this particular tone. But the big question is that, is Modi trying to appropriate Operation Sindoor for political purposes? That is question number one. Question number two, will Sindoor now become the new form of justice? So we'll try and discuss what does now Sindoor mean for Prime Minister Modi. Joining me now this evening is a special guest, a former Congress spokesperson, author and columnist. Sanjay Jha joins us this evening on Truth Be Told. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining. It's a real pleasure again to have you on the program. Of course, starting with "Hamare nason mein garam sindoor behta hai." This is what Prime Minister Modi yesterday in Bikaner said. Now, what was the connotation? What is the kind of message he was trying to send out, according to you?
Well, Neelu, the truth is that the BJP has always used hyper-nationalism as a political strategy. Go back to 2019, after the Pulwama massacre, where we lost 40 CRPF soldiers in an ambush that frankly surprised many people because it happened close to the CRPF headquarters on the highway. If you remember the speeches, Mr. Modi actually told a lot of the first-time voters that let your first vote be for the people who took part in the Balakot strike. I mean, it was a brazen call for political votes in a hot election cycle using the martyrdom of the Pulwama soldiers. To everybody to their own value judgments, but I felt that was extremely pathetic. It was coming from India's Prime Minister, who was trying to mobilize votes based on an issue of national security that had to be treated in a more sacrosanct manner. Now, I want to take you back actually to the fact that when Operation Sindoor had just started, it lasted just 3 days, you had a digital advertising campaign run by the BJP. It was all over. And they tried to malign the opposition and make Mr. Modi and the government look like muscular heroes. So clearly morality, ethics, decency, I think it disrespects the armed forces, in my opinion. And number two, I think it insults the intelligence of the common people of India. Now, let's look at the reality. Pahalgam terror attack happens, Neelu. It's been over a month. You have no idea where the terrorists are. So they came in, they walk in all the way to South Kashmir, it's not at the border, and they have disappeared into oblivion. And Mr. Modi believes it's the right time to make these highly aggressive macho speeches. I think to me, this is a lot to do with one's own political character. I can try and understand the logic behind why Mr. Modi does it, because invariably he's seen electoral success because he's done that. It's not just about Bihar. I can tell you that the BJP will try every trick in the book to leverage the success of the armed forces and claim it as a BJP credit, which is tragic because we still have no dialogue on what was the security and intelligence failure that led to the Pahalgam horrific terror attack, anyways. But let me give you a rejoinder that Mr. Modi needs to listen to, and then we'll carry on with the conversation. This is a letter written to the President of India, the Supreme Commander of India's Defense Forces, by Admiral Vishnu Bhagwat and some very eminent people from the armed forces. And I'll read out this text to you, which is based on the statement made by Mr. Vijay Shah, the very eminent BJP minister who mocked Colonel Sofia Qureshi, called her a sister of the terrorists. And you have the statement made by the deputy chief minister, his name being Mr. Jagdish Devda, who said that the Indian army bows in front of Mr. Modi. And just hear this, because I think this will put things in perspective for your viewers. The letter, and I'll just quote the more relevant portions. This is on Mr. Vijay Shah. In this, he publicly betrayed his gender insensitive, non-secular, deprecating women in general, and a divisive state of mind, and a tendency to incite communal fissures and insulting India's defense forces. Now, this is what the people from the defense are telling Mr. Modi and his government. I think, this is not Congress. This is not the opposition. This is not you. This is not me. To the viewers of your program, this is people who have fought for India and have defended our borders. And I carry on to what is said next. These derogatory statements can adversely affect the morale of the servicing personnel of our defense forces, resulting in weakening of national security and territorial sovereignty. What more needs to be said? And as we talk, railway tickets have Operation Sindoor being used as a political marketing tool. And I've seen cutouts of Mr. Modi, not in Mumbai yet, but I assume they're happening in different parts of the country. Cutouts of Mr. Modi with an Operation Sindoor, and he's wearing the military uniform. The BJP is clearly telling the people of India that we are going to do what we want to do. And they have this deeper thought in mind that the average person in this country, Neelu, is very impressionable, subject to influence, and has been in the past a victim of their fake news and propaganda tool. So this is where their confidence comes from. And therefore, people like you, me, and anybody else who cares for this country, who wants decency in public life, will have to just hope and pray that India's common people see through this attempt to hoodwink them using the bravery of the armed forces, the very people whom the BJP says we are doing the operation or Tiranga Yatra for, but actually they are exploiting their virtues for their own extremely parochial benefits.
No, but while Prime Minister Modi makes this kind of a comment that "Mere naso mein garam sindoor beh raha hai," what do you think is the political constituency he's actually targeting at? Is he targeting at the women? Is he targeting at the men? I'm sure he's aware that there are so many questions which he needs to answer. And from those questions, he's just shied away completely. Whether it is the accountability, how the security lapse and the intelligence failure happened in case of Pahalgam, why Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar had to inform the enemy country from beforehand, before the military strike. What are the terms and conditions of the ceasefire? These are some important questions. How many Rafales are down? How many aircrafts were down? No answers on that. But then he says, "Hamare naso mein garam sindoor beh raha hai." What is the political constituency he's looking at? Is he trying to target those semi-illiterate men and women who will not question him at all?
Well, I think the popular perception has not been in favor of the government after the very sudden ceasefire announced by Donald Trump. A lot of people were astonished because here we had announced Operation Sindoor and an attack late in the night. And suddenly it appeared as if we had changed our mind altogether. And a lot of people were frankly disappointed with the fact that did we really successfully uh, close the endeavors that had begun the entire project? Obviously, thereafter you have all sides making their own different claims. But let's put that aside for the moment. Yes, of course, we did hit the air bases, and a message was sent to Pakistan that if you continue indulging in the terror outbreak that you do in India periodically, there will be a gradual escalation in the way we retaliate. I don't think on that issue there is any conversation. I think all political parties rallied behind the government. Where I think this government has really come a cropper is the fact that its defense has been extremely weak on Donald Trump's repeated assertions that we brokered the ceasefire and both India and Pakistan agreed because the larger issue was trade. And I think that has exploded or rather punctured Mr. Modi's image or the BJP's image of being a party that looked impregnable when it came to matters of India's territorial security. If you ask me, a rebuttal had to come from Mr. Modi directly to Donald Trump, because here is the head of state. You can't leave this to a Vikram Mishri or to a Jai Shankar. This had to happen from Prime Minister Modi. For reasons best known to him, he's chosen to be extremely intriguingly silent on the subject. On his address to the nation was a perfect platform for him to debunk if Donald Trump's statements are indeed an exaggeration or they are a concoction of his rather unstable mind. Then he had to be called out then. It didn't happen. So if you hear Donald Trump even today, in the last 11 to 12 days, he said it 8 times. I brokered the deal. And when he says he talks about his administration and the role of Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance and the entire administration. I think Mr. Modi's government has a lot to explain for. It's easy to criticize Rahul Gandhi, India's favorite fall guy. But the truth is, Rahul Gandhi has called out the government on very legitimate issues. You have the external affairs minister who says we informed Pakistan. He's on record. This is not subject to some kind of interpretation or circumlocution. It's a straightforward thing. He says it on a video that I informed them that we're going to hit your terror networks, and they did not abide by that warning. That's what Dr. Jaishankar.
But despite foreign minister having said this on record, you have MPs like Nishikant Dubey saying and tweeting also, giving an interview to ANI that this was a part of the pact which the Congress government in the yesteryears had signed. And which is why, so is it not treason now that you say? I mean,
well, I don't. But honestly, Neelu, I won't comment on the gentleman because I think the Supreme Court has had a very forthright opinion on the gentleman's credibility. I don't want to dignify his comments by even responding to them. The fundamental point is this, that you have today a situation, and it's a serious one. The BJP is out there campaigning. Mr. Modi comes back from his short tour, goes to Bihar to campaign. And the BJP runs a social media campaign. Now the Operation Sindoor is in railway tickets. E-railway tickets is already there in cutouts. Mr. Modi is making these aggressive rhetorical speeches all over again. This is the character of the BJP. It's in their DNA. You can't change that. And until they find that it keeps working for them in the ballot box, I don't think Mr. Modi or the BJP are going to change their tracks at all. But the problem for India hasn't changed, because the truth, Neelu, is this, that today, if you look at the border conflict that we had with Pakistan, China has become a very critical player. China's strategic military equipment or assets were used by Pakistan. And therefore, is India in an unofficial two-front war already, where Pakistan no longer can be just summarily dismissed as a ragtag army working with extremely obsolete equipment. This has become a more dangerous and a volatile situation. I think where Rahul Gandhi asked Mr. Modi and the government, who stood by you? And let's be honest, barring Israel and Taliban in Afghanistan, nobody stood with us. And I can tell you the most disconcerting development, Nilu, is none of our neighboring countries did, which I wrote in an article recently, have become very China-fied. You have everybody from a Nepal, Bangladesh, which I consider to be the most mammoth foreign policy disaster of Mr. Modi's government, which has now become hostile to us. Sri Lanka, all these countries, Myanmar, even Bhutan, Nepal, Maldives, they have all got significant Chinese investments, which are gradually, of course, going to convert into some kind of a military or a diplomatic arrangement. If we are not going to be worried about these, then I really think we are missing the woods for the trees. Now, a politician works from an election cycle to an election cycle. Mr. Modi may probably think I might lose the next election and let the future government take care of it. So this is how most politicians think. Yeah? You don't have statesmen in the world anymore, including in India.